guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this video I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this top. I've already made a similar top, but people kept asking me what if they want to add button to this particular style. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So this basically all you have to do, you see my fabric here, just plain sheet of fabric, is not folded. This is what it looks like. And in case you're wondering, if you're making it with a crepe, you might need about maybe, let's say, 3 yards of fabric. So now the first thing I'm going to do is, but it depends on how flowy you want yours to be. So depending on how flowy you want yours to be is how you're going to fold it. So because this bottom part is going to, everything I'm going to be cutting here, the sleeve, the back panel, the sleeve, the back panel, the front panel, everything is going to be cut on a slant like this. But what will determine how much fabric and how much flowiness you have in yours is just how much you fold yours away. If you fold just this much, you have more flay. If you decide to fold yours just a little like this, that's the amount of flay you have. So it depends on you how much flay you want to have on yours, right? So now that we've said that, the next step is going to be, we're going to be starting this with our front panel, or anyone you want. There are two methods of adding button to this. So the first method you can use is just to basically go ahead and cut your front panel, like a basic front panel, not putting in seam allowance for the button, for the zip, sorry. So what I'm going to do is just basically put my tape here, depending on the length you want yours to be. So let's say you're going to measure your length on this side, not on this longer part, on this side here. So let's say you want everything, including your seam allowance, to end at 28. You're going to mark 28 here, measure from that point to here, and then you're going to rule a straight line across. You're going to rule a straight line like this, so that you know where that is. And then the next thing you're going to do now is just to go ahead, you see, and then you're going to take your tape and measure 28 all the way. You know how you measure a circle dress? You mark 28. You move your tape again, you mark the 28. This is just to help you get the length all over. So once you've marked it all over to the end, you're just going to keep moving your tape until you get 28 all over, like you're marking a circle dress. Once that is done, we've determined the length, the bottom length of the dress right now. You see, this is what it's going to look like: the top, the side, the top part, the bottom part. So now you can go ahead, go up here and insert your shoulder measurement divided by 2. So let's say that's 8. You mark it. You come down here, mark your 1 inch of shoulder slope. Just your basic bodice is what you're putting in here. Come down here, mark your armhole divided by 2. So let's say that is 9. Connect it. Give it a curve. Come here, insert your bust measurement divided by 4. So let's say my bust divided by 4 is 10. I mark 10. Add half an inch of ease and then 1 inch of sewing allowance. If yours, when you go to put in all your measurements and it doesn't fit in on this here, all you have to do is just go back in and move this over. Tilt your fabric a little bit further. That way you can start putting in more measurements. Or if you don't want to tilt it further, like you feel like it's going to like if you feel like it's going to waste your fabric even more, you can, instead of tilting it further, you can bring it down. You can either increase the flay, moving it forward a little bit more, or you can bring it down, like turn it around this way. That way you're bringing in more flay. It's just that you're reducing the bottom part. So now the next thing you're going to do is just go ahead, connect your neckline, 3 inches of neckline here. Remember, like I said, you are starting with the front panel. Connect it to the 1 inch of shoulder slope. All you have to cut here is just to start from here now. Follow my chalk, cut all the way here, cut into this side, cut your armhole, cut up here, shoulder slope, neckline. You can do 3 inches of neckline. Come down here for the 3 inches of neckline. You see what I'm saying? But all you have to do once you've done this here, guys, the first method is you're going to cut just a basic bodice like this, and then you're going to slit it open and attach like a placket on both sides, 3 inches of placket on both sides, and then it will overlap each other as your button. I'm still going to show you guys that method. Or the next method is, before you even cut this out, you can go ahead. This one might be more difficult for you, so I would rather use the one where I just cut out a basic bodice like this, because this basic bodice is what I'm going to use to still cut my back panel. So not to confuse me, it will be better for me to just cut out a basic bodice like this, how I've cut it now, and then split it open and separate it and have two sides, and then use that side to just add a placket on this side, like something that looks like this. Add it on one side like this, on one side like this as an attachment, and then put another one on the other side like this, and the two of them will overlap on each other as your button. But I'll still get to that. But the second method of doing it is, before you start cutting it, your front panel, you're going to go ahead and fold in. That's before you insert all the measurements you need. So let's say I'm moving this further even more now. You see, I'm going to move it further even more, and then I'm going to leave in a straight line about, let me just connect it straight down here. It's just that I would like to use this same panel to mark my back panel. So that's why I feel like this one might be more difficult for you, because the back panel still needs seam allowance at the center back, but it's just that it doesn't need as much as the front will need. So you might leave about 2.5 inches here and then connect the neckline this way. So you understand what I'm saying? So fold your fabric this way, leave 2.5 inches in between this way, right? 2.5 inches this way. This is just so that you can just fold it this way as a button placket on the fabric once you split it open. So it depends on you, the one you want, the method you want to use. You see, you are going to extend that 2 inches of neckline, and then you're going to use this extension here, this extra fabric here, and then you're just going to cut everything the same all the way. This one might still be easier for you guys. It depends on you. The way we've cut it now, just put your fabric the way it was before, mark everything that you need, shoulder everything, and then you pull it back a little bit more. Pull it back to where it's a little bit, so that you can have that 2.5 inches for your button placket. Once you extend it that much, you can now go ahead and cut it out. But then when you want to use it to cut your back panel, you need to fold this away, right? You're going to fold this part of it away so that you can use it to cut the back panel, because the back panel is exactly what you have in front. It's exactly the same pattern here, but except instead of 2.5 extra that we have here, we only have 1 inch extra, right? So 1 inch extra is what you're going to need. So you're going to fold this one away, because this is for the button, but the one at the back, sorry, this is for the button in front, but the one at the back is just for that slit that you have at the center back. You're still going to sew it together. That one at the back doesn't even have any function. It's just so that you can use it to pull the back panel together, and then you leave the bottom part of it open. So let me go back now and show you guys what I mean. So guys, you see what I was saying? This is for the back. So this is just a basic one, right? The basic one I was telling you guys, if you cut it like this, you can always split it into two and add. But before we split it, let me show you guys the other one I was saying. So a different way to cut the front panel. This is the front panel, right? You can cut it this way, like I was telling you guys. You can cut it this way, the one where you extend, using that front panel, extend it, and then use the body of that same cloth, right? You just cut 3 inches down. Just imagine this to be 3 inches down, and then when you split it open, remember I said 2.5 inches in between here, so that you're going to take, why I said 2.5 is because you need 1 inch at the top here, 1 inch at the bottom here, and then the other half an inch from the 2.5 will now be what you use to tuck in the edge of that cloth. You understand? I said 2.5, right? 2.5 extension, 1 inch will be at the top of that. You take in the other 1.5 at the bottom, and then you now, that 1.5 here, now you are going to now tuck in the other half an inch in this way and sew it down as the placket of this side, right? Let me press this down like this, so it will be this way, and then you take the same other one, use this as the other placket on this side, fold it this way, and then you see that way you have your two sides of the button, right? One on top of the other. That's how you can use. This is one method, so we move this aside. The second one was the one I said you can just cut out your basic bodice like that. This one here, you can split it into two like this. Split it into two, just the basic bodice. You didn't add any seam allowance like this. Is now into two like this. You cut out your fabric. For this one, you're going to need 3 inches here. Like I said, this one, when you're using the body of your fabric, you only need 2.5 inches extension. When you're adding extra placket, you need 3 inches to make it work. So you cut out 3 inches of width. The length is going to be determined by the length of your clothes, right? The length from the top to the bottom is what will determine it. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take it, and then you're going to use it 3 inches is what I said you guys should cut, right? So 3 inches of width, you fold it into 2, that's 1.5 on both sides, and then you tuck in half an inch on each end here, right? Tuck in half an inch here, half an inch fold here this way, right? So then you take it and put it in between like this, and then just sew it down. You've made a placket on this side. Take the same one, 3 inches of opening this way, 3 inches into 2 fold like this, 1.5 here, 1.5 here, and then you tuck in that 0.5 in this way, tuck in 0.5 on the other end this way, and then use it, put it, sandwich it in between here and sew it down, you see? And then you've made 2 plackets facing each other this way, one on top of the other. This is one method for the front panel. Another method, the second method, right? So now we've finished the front panel, guys. The back panel, what I was saying is that we need just 1 inch for the back panel extension. That's why I was saying you can fold it away, which is this one that we did here. You see, I just did 1 inch here, and this 1 inch I just did here is just so that I can use it to split it open. But before you do that, go ahead at the top here and notch where that 1 inch is, so that you can know that that's the point where it is, so you can sew it back, close it. So you're going to just cut this open only to sew it back again. You cut it open, and then you're going to take it right side facing each other this way, and then come down from that top part of where we notched it. You see where we notched it? Sew it close down to where you want to stop. So you want to stop just below where your bra is. So let's say my bra is somewhere here, maybe from the top to about 12 inches down is where my bra stops, or 14 inches down. You mark it there, somewhere here, and then you're going to sew this all the way down to this point. And once you sew it, you're going to turn this side away and then turn the other side away. So I'm going to do it now and bring it back so you guys will see what I'm trying to explain. So guys, anyone that works for you is fine. You see, I've gone ahead and sewn this one. This is the one where you attach the placket separately. You see, this is basically it, and this is still the back panel for all of them. You see, I showed you guys 2 different methods for the front, but the back is steady for everybody, for this the 2 styles. So you see, basically the back is just for you to sew it, so close that 1 inch, stop where you want it to stop, and then use that 1 inch of seam allowance. Just stop wherever you want the seam to stop, and then turn that 1 inch away on this side, sew it up to this point, cross over to the other side, fold the other 1 inch away and cross it over. So you can see, you see what I did here. You see, after I sewed it down, you see that my 1 inch here, I sewed it close up to this point, and then I took that seam allowance on this side to close up to this point, and then use that same seam allowance to close up on this side. So you see, it's basically just that same piece. That's the reason for this 1 inch, so we can use it as the hemming. But if you want to have more opening on yours, you can even slash out a little bit of fabric here, but I think it's better this way. As you're working, it can open up on its own instead of slashing out some fabric before you fold it. So basically this is it. Now you can just take any one you decide to use for the front panel, take it, join the shoulder to the shoulder. You see, it still fits in perfectly. You see, once I sew the shoulder down, I put in my button inside the sleeve. If I decide to use the other one, all I have to do is the same thing, sew the shoulder down, and then also sew the shoulder down on this side, and everything works out perfectly. You see, so now to cut the sleeve, you see, it still works out. Remember, the back neckline is just 1 inch that you cut out, 1 inch of depth. The front is 3 inches of depth. So now to cut the sleeve, guys, it's still the same method. Like I told you guys, everything we are going to be cutting it on that same fold. But for the sleeve, you can fold it once and cut everything once. So basically, you can fold it and cut the 2 sleeves at the same time. So the way it's folded now, all I have to do, you see, I folded my fabric into 2. The other one, we just used 1 sheet of fabric. This one, you folded it into 2 already. Just tilt it this way, right? And then you go up here, come up here this way, and then mark from this edge here. Guys, make sure that when you fold yours, the fold can contain your fabric, right? But just, this is what it's supposed to look like. From this end here, you're going to measure your sleeve length. So let's say I decide to use 22 as my sleeve length. I'm going to mark 22 at this point here. So let's say it falls in here. I'm going to mark a straight line here, and then from this point I'm going to come down 4 inches here for my cap height, and then on this line I'm going to draw a straight line across this way. Find halfway through, give it a curve above and a curve below. I've marked my sleeve. All I have to do now is just to take my tape, put it here, and mark the exact length again, just like how we did before. And then once you've marked it out this way, cut this point out, cross over here, cut inside of here and here, and then you have your sleeve. So that's basically the trumpet sleeve you need. You attach it to the body of this dress, and then I'm also going to attach how to cut a basic collar. If you want, you can use a bishop collar, you can use like mandarin collar, any type of collar you want you can use, or a basic t-shirt collar. So I'm going to attach that also to the video. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.